I've just asked a question about who wants to hear the cold, hard and honest truth about being a twin mum. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. It has been the hardest fucking thing that I've ever had to do. And I've been through a breast cancer diagnosis and breast cancer treatment. Obviously you can't really compare those two. They're very, very opposite extremes in life. But becoming a twin mum was the hardest thing that I've ever had to juggle. When I went through my diagnosis, I had no children, so I was able to focus 100% on myself, on my treatment, on my alternative therapies that I chose to do. I didn't have to put anyone else first, which was a blessing in itself, because there's no way I could have went back and went through all of that when having to do mum mode and mum jobs and mum duties as well. But it was hard. So from the day that my little boys were conceived, they've had to share everything. They had to share the womb, they had to share nutrition, they had to share my warmth. Like from the get-go, these two little humans have had to just deal with each other. And that in itself is, I take my hat off to them, because they've known no different. So, you know, and I knew no different because I didn't have a singleton. But it has been the hardest thing ever. And in saying that, if I was to go back again, obviously I would keep my boys. There's no way in hell I would ever choose to be have a singleton, prior to them. But if that made sense, I would in a heartbeat not have twins again. I would give them both the opportunity to have me as a 100% attentive, 100% focused, 100% that one-on-one, that dyad relationship that their little bodies and their little brains needed. So I have constantly been saying to my little boys, just wait, hold on a second, I'm supporting your brother right now, I'll be with you in a minute, just wait. Like the amount of times I've said to my boys, just wait. Those newborn days were insane. Like I remember taking them to separate rooms because they were both screaming so much, and I had to decide which one I needed to settle first. And that was the most gut-wrenching, guilt-tripping thing that I have ever had to do, is to prioritize one screaming baby over the other, and deciding who was the worst when they were both needing 100% of me. It was fucking hard. It still is hard. My boys are 2 and 4 months. They are an absolute handful. Sharing is a little bit tricky, but they're getting there. But I'm still saying, just wait, hold on a second. I know how important brain development is in little people. That first 1,000 days from conception until your little people are 2.5 to 3 years of age, their brains are growing at the fastest rate that they will ever actually grow. Their synaptic connections are exploding. Their little brains are lighting up with every sound, every visual bit of input that they receive. Like every interaction that they get, it lights up their synaptic connections and their neural pathways in their brains. Knowing this as an expert in child development in the early years, I knew that I had to put in 150% from the get-go, from the time these little boys were conceived, from the nutrition that I gave them through pregnancy, and to those early days of those newborn stages. It has been a journey. It has been an absolute up and down journey. I feel like we are coming out into the more positive, happier times now. And in saying that, I love being a twin mum. It's been the greatest gift and the greatest challenge. But I would not choose to have twins again. Like, if I had the option, I would say, no, one baby, please. Just give me one at a time so I can be that 100% mum, that 100% focused, not having to share me, not having to tell a baby to wait. And this is not to guilt trip anyone else out there that is a multiples mum or in the thick of those newborn days. It is bloody hard, and I'm here to say you're doing an amazing job and you can do this. If you want to know anything further on that brain development, those neural pathways, those early days, those connections, that first 1,000 days of your little people's lives, sing out and I will send you a little bit of information. Look up Nathan Wallace. He's a neuroscientist. He's from New Zealand. He is absolutely an incredible man that will teach you all about how important that first 1,000 days of your baby's life are. So they are so incredibly important. And that's my little rant. So keep going. It does get easier. They do start sleeping through the night. Our boys sleep amazing now, thank goodness for that. Yeah, we still have some shitty, shocking nights, but in all, we are through that. I feel like we're through the storm. We've weathered the storm, and we're coming out to the sunshine now. We're coming out to the other side, and we're finding ourselves again, and that's amazing. Finding yourself again as a mum is really hard because your brain's changed, your body's changed, and you do lose yourself in motherhood. So keep going, it gets easier.